Hello and welcome back to Content Innovations Limited. At Content Innovations Limited, we love to share with you the tools and techniques that we use to help our clients and other people move forward with looking at process improvement. We're looking at a series which is all about understanding risk. How can we mitigate that risk? How can we remove the risk from our process? One of the tool sets that is really useful when you're thinking about risk is to use something called mapping. Mapping is a very powerful tool set, but there's a whole bunch of maps to use or consider to help you when you're looking at your process. So what do we mean? We could use a SIPOC map. A SIPOC map is a very powerful tool for helping us understand what are the offloads, what's the intellect, how does this process work, what information do I need to be able to bounce that backwards and forwards. Maybe your process is not about that, but it's about waste and flow. So we need to think about using a value stream map. A value stream map will map inventory, it'll map rework, it'll map the high level activities and the number of people, the time it takes, the amount of inventory that you have, the time it takes to clear that inventory, and how your process flows will be from a value stream map. Maybe that's not the process you're trying to understand. Maybe the process you need to understand is a process map itself. Now this is a very common map, it's the map that most people use. It's squares, it's rectangles, it's diamonds, and it's various other shapes, and we link them together. We could put them into swim lanes and various other things like that. But what we're actually doing when we're mapping this is we're not really interested in the squares, we're interested in the diamonds, because it's about decisions and consequences of those decisions. So we need to understand from a process flow map, are those decisions happening too late? Are they happening at the right point? Could we move them earlier in the process? Another map which may be useful to use when we're looking at managing risk and improving our processes is a Cana Map. Cana looks at what is a delighter, a satisfier and a dissatisfier from a customer or a consumer's perspective. Now people that run processes, we have a clear mind's eye of what we think that process should deliver, but the consumer has a completely different view, or the customer has a completely different view about that process. So it aligns the deliverables of what we're going to expect to deliver. A further map that might be useful is a Tim Woods map. Tim Woods gives us the ability to look at the pure waste. Some people call it swim to, and it's given various other names as well, but effectively these are the main waste that we see in a map. And the 5S map as well gives us the ability to understand how we've got everything sorted and set in its right place, and do things work, or have we got basic issues we need to figure out. A further map which could be useful is what's called a process sequence chart. And a process sequence chart, unlike a process map, is we classify activities into one of 5 categories. And in those categories we identify them as they wastes or as they things of value. And so we can then challenge that step and say, well actually, could we do that a different way? Could we make it a more powerful, more useful step than the type of step or the type of activity it is now? Another map which we may need to use is what's called a spaghetti map. And this is where you're going to metaphorically tag somebody and follow them through the process and see where they go, how much motion there is in this process. I can also use this to understand how much motion there is in filling in a form. Is there a logical order to the way the form is filled in? And then another map that we may want to use is what's called data mining. And in data mining, I want to be able to look at creating associations or alignment between what customers are saying and what we're actually seeing in the process. So again, we can start to reclassify and have a better understanding of what's happening. And the final map that may be useful that I might need to think about is a CNX map. I want to map the noises, I want to map the controls, I want to make sure my noises are locked up, I want to make sure I don't have my noises unlocked and they're going to start driving my process. So when we're looking at creating process improvement, or we're using an FMEA, mapping is a really useful tool. Reach out to us at Cana Innovations Limited if you'd like to know more about using maps and helping them to show us what we need to see so that we can improve our process. But mapping is all about understanding what do I want to see and then choosing the map that I need, rather than using what we typically use is a process map or a value stream map, and they won't show you what you're trying to find. Thank you so much. Reach out to us at Cotton Innovations. Details are at the bottom of the screen, and we look forward to helping you, mapping your processes and creating a much better ways of working for you. Thank you so much. Goodbye now.